Choosing the wrong role when you're new to Hell Let Loose can spell disaster for your team, leaving you in the crosshairs of frustrated veteran players and making your first experiences in the game downright painful. But fear not, because in this video, I'll guide you through the fog of war by revealing the top 5 roles for new players that will allow you to learn the basics of the game without the pressures of the additional responsibilities that some of the more complex roles in the game require. These aren't in any particular order, so choosing any of these roles will be a pretty safe bet for newcomers. Let's kick things off with the Rifleman role. Rifleman is the role that most new players choose when first diving into Hell Let Loose, and for good reason. A Rifleman's job is pretty straightforward. Engage the enemy infantry while pushing in to capture the enemy sectors or dig in to defend the friendly controlled sectors. To put it simply, you're just a grunt, and other than occasionally dropping an ammo box for your teammates, you don't have any special equipment or abilities that other players will rely on you for, which is what most new players are going to want when getting their feet wet. Now, the standard issue US Rifleman carries the trusty M1 Garand, which is one of the very best weapons in the entire game.
My ping.
It's accurate and deadly at just about all ranges, and it's especially good for new players because it's a semi-automatic rifle, which means it can fire just about as fast as you can pull the trigger. Now this comes in pretty damn handy when you don't really have a good feel for the gunplay yet, and you miss more shots than Shaquille O'Neal at the free throw line. But the German, British, and Soviet standard issue Rifleman loadouts don't have this luxury since they all carry a bolt-action rifle. Having to rack the bolt between each shot definitely makes these rifles less forgiving than the M1 Garand. So if you're not the best shot in FPS games, you might want to consider the automatic Rifleman role instead. With standard issue loadouts including weapons like the BAR, the STG-44, the Bren, and the PPSH-41, it's easy to see why automatic Rifleman is a solid choice for newcomers. These fully automatic weapons pack a serious punch, have decent magazine capacities, and are surprisingly accurate at range. Plus, they're pretty damn good at suppressing the enemy, and this makes them well-rounded, versatile weapons and the kings of medium-range combat. So if you're the type of player that prefers to lay down a base of fire by dumping a whole lot of rounds in the enemy's direction, automatic Rifleman is a great choice. The automatic Rifleman role has no special equipment or abilities whatsoever, so you won't have to worry about players with 3,000 hours in the game asking you to build resource nodes or drop supplies on their observe mark. You're simply there to find, suppress, and kill the bad guys. It really doesn't get any simpler than that. Now, if you're more of a fast twitch, aggressive type player who can't wait to storm into buildings balls out and just start spraying hate, check out the assault role. The standard issue assault loadouts give you SMGs like the Thompson, MP40, Sten, and PPSH-41, and these little bastards are ideal for close quarters combat. They have a high rate of fire, which makes them great hip-fire weapons. So if you turn a corner and you find yourself face to face with enemy infantry, do as Frank Reynolds does and just start blasting. Just like Rifleman and automatic Rifleman, assault players have no special equipment or abilities, so you'll be free to just focus on getting a feel for the gunplay and figuring out how to not die all the time. And speaking of not dying all the time, another excellent role for newcomers is Medic. Medic is a unique role in that your focus isn't on killing the enemy, but rather on saving your fallen teammates. If you aren't the best shot or you don't have the eagle eyes needed to spot enemies in this game, you can still contribute to your team's success by playing as a medic. When your teammates go down, you can pick them back up again by sticking them in the ass with a little morphine.
Get that MG back up.
Playing Medic really does have a unique vibe that everyone should experience at least once. Not only will you receive a lot of thank yous from the teammates you revive, but playing Medic results in some of the most funny moments this game has to offer. The Hell Let Loose community absolutely loves to roleplay, and the shit some of these people say will have you rolling.
Oh, I'm feeling better. Oh, I feel great.
To see what I'm talking about, check out this epic video where me and my brother competed on my server to see who could get the most revives in one game. It's a freaking riot. I also find that as a medic, you often witness some of the most cinematic and brutal moments Hell Let Loose has to offer since you don't have that tunnel vision of actively being engaged in combat like you do with other roles. Casually watching one of your squad mates try to run across a gap in a hedgerow only to get lit the fuck up with machine gun fire and start screaming for a medic is pretty intense. But perhaps even more intense is being the a machine gunner who lit that poor dude up. As a machine gunner, your primary objective is to provide suppressive fire, keeping enemy heads down and allies moving forward. A well-placed machine gunner can single-handedly deny enemy access to key areas of the map. The rapid, powerful, and continuous firepower of a machine gun can make you feel like a force to be reckoned with right off the rip, even with little to no experience. It really is an awesome feeling when you find that perfect position and lock down an entire street, or when you find yourself in just the right place at the right time and cut down an entire spawn wave in just a matter of seconds. Absolute chef's kiss. You can also hip fire with the machine guns, but first you'll need to brace the MG by holding down the right mouse button or left trigger on consoles. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it down, you can often wreck people up close and personal with hip fire, Rambo style. So there you have it, the top 5 roles to dive into when you're new to Hell Let Loose. Now, those are just my recommendations, assuming you want to limit your personal responsibility while you figure out how the game works. But outside of the commander and maybe squad leader role, you can really start with whatever role you want as long as you're willing to learn. In fact, if you really want to learn the game as fast as possible, you might want to consider taking a role like support, which will force you to learn the supply mechanics and how garrisons are built, which is probably the single most important mechanic of the game. I've got in-depth tutorial videos on my channel of every role in the game, so whatever one you choose, I've got you covered. I've organized these role guides into a playlist and shared the link down in the video description below, so definitely check those out next. Guys, I promise you'll be happy you did. I've also got a playlist of general guides that aren't specific to any one role, but explain the modes and mechanics of the game. I highly recommend you check those out as well. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by hitting the thumbs up icon and consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to see more of my content. If you're on PC, look for my server SoulSniper's SOF. We're the top ranked server in the US and we welcome new players, so it's an awesome environment to learn the game in. Shit, you might run into me in game and make it into one of my next videos.
Good thing we got these 1943 airbags, huh? Look at these bad boys.
The airbags are just Soul Snipers against tits.
Leather straps, essentially.
I'd also love for you to join my Discord at discord.gg/SoulSniper. We're currently 4,500 members strong and growing daily, and this community is an absolute frickin' blast, so come say hello and make some new friends. Thank you for watching, and if you can't decide which role to start with, just stay put right here on my channel and I'll walk you through the Rifleman role first. I'll see you over in that one.